As Western cultures decay, more and more people are reaching out to me and saying, Andre, I'm looking to move to Serbia. I'm looking to obtain citizenship. What is my options? What are the routes that I need to take? What can I do to obtain citizenship in this beautiful country? And today we're going to talk about the various ways that you yourself and your family can obtain citizenship in Serbia, and we're going to discuss what you're going to need to do, what are some things to look out for, and what is the time frame in order to do so. So being that in Canada, the taxes have gone through the roof there, the cost of living has gone through the roof, the woke culture is in full swing. Down in the States, you have a massive amount of illegal immigration coming into the country. People are not feeling safe anymore. In Australia, you have the government, putting more and more rules on their citizenship or on their citizens. And they're looking to move somewhere else. Or I've even talked to people who have left in the 80s and the 90s from former Yugoslavia to another country and now are looking to come back many years later, or their children are looking to come back to Serbia where their parents once left and start a life here in Serbia. And it's a beautiful thing to see. It's unfortunate what's happening in other countries, but some people want that old-fashioned family values, old-fashioned living, a tight-knit culture, good eating, good food. We're not into eating bugs here. We're not into all these GMOs and all these plastic foods that are going around in other countries, all the chemicals that they're putting into the foods in the West. So a lot of people have various reasons as why they want to move to Serbia. And so today we're going to talk about the various options that people do have in order to move to Serbia. And one of the easiest ways that I can talk to you about today is for those that have family that lived here in Serbia, that were born here in Serbia, such as your mother or your father, and you can obtain citizenship by descent. So if you've had at least one parent that had Serbian citizenship and you were born abroad, and you did not have Serbian citizenship when you were born because you were born in another country, even though you were born in another country, you are still entitled as a descendant of a Serbian citizen to obtain citizenship by descent. Now, regardless of which parent it is, you can do this. Now, if you're a second generation trying to get this through your grandparents, that is a gray area, and we've had some success with some people not so much. It all depends on what the government rules are at that time. They do change them from time to time. And the process is very simple. What you need to do is make sure you have all the documents from the parent that you're trying to obtain citizenship through. Make sure you have their birth certificate that is here from former Yugoslavia, from Serbia, wherever it might be. Now, if you're looking at obtaining citizenship through descent and it was back in former Yugoslavia, and now they were born in the Bosnian side and now we're all split up, you might have to go to Bosnia, get paperwork transferred over to Serbia. Or if you were from Croatia originally under former Yugoslavia, you might have to go to Croatia, transfer that over here, and then obtain citizenship. But it's all doable. Now, you're also going to need to get your long form birth certificate as well for yourself that states who your parents are. You're going to have to get a certain amount of documents notarized as well to show that they're legal documents. You cannot use copies. A lot of the government agencies here require original paperwork, and they're going to take that paperwork and keep it. Sometimes you're going to need two of those copies as well. So there are some investments that are going to be needing to take place to obtain these documents. I know in Canada, to obtain your long form birth certificate, it's about $40. And there's sometimes a waiting period as well. If it's a rush delivery, they're going to ask you perhaps why do you need it so fast? If you're asking for multiple copies, I've had clients that have gotten phone calls by the government asking, why do you need multiple copies of your long form birth certificate? Now, you don't necessarily need to be in Serbia in order to start your citizenship by descent process. Many of the people that I know who have come back to Serbia have started this in the country that they're currently residing in and doing it through the Serbian embassy that is closest to where they live right now. But there are some people who have had troubles with their current embassy and decided, you know what, screw it, I'm going to come back to Serbia and I'm going to do the process here, especially if they need to obtain documents for their parents here in Serbia. They have to go to that local hometown, a local city hall, obtain the documents, birth certificate, yada, 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 and start the process here. And some of them, come to us because the processes here in Serbia are not so clear. The administrative processes are not as easy to navigate as they would be in some of the Western cultures. We've had a client that came here. He had Serbian citizenship because he was born here, moved to Canada, lived there for 40 years, decided to come back and try and obtain his citizenship again because he let everything expire. He didn't have his lična karta anymore. He didn't know where to get his matičin broj. He didn't know any of it. His English or his Serbian language was very broken. He couldn't speak the language to the people at City Hall, the people at the police station, and what should have taken only a 2 or 3 month process ended up taking him on his own 10 months not to be able to accomplish it on his own, then hiring someone out like us and having it done within a couple months because we already know the processes, we know what needs to be done, who to go talk to, what paperwork you need to submit, where to go get that paperwork, so on and so forth. So that would be your first and foremost way of, an easiest way to get citizenship. Now, if you have no connections to Serbia, you have no relatives, you have no land, you have no nothing here in Serbia, the most common way that many of the people that have no ties to Serbia obtain citizenship is by naturalization. Now, there's a few different ways that you can do this. You can do this through getting work permits, setting up a business, purchasing property, but there are other requirements that come along with obtaining citizenship by naturalization. Now, there are going to be residency requirements. You will have to legally reside in Serbia for 3 years before you can apply for Serbian citizenship. This includes moving to Serbia from Canada, from the United States, from anywhere else in the world. You are able to leave the country on a temporary residency permit for a certain amount of days throughout the year, but you will have to be in Serbia more often than not. You will also more than likely need to obtain language proficiency. You'll need to have basic understanding of the Serbian language, which could cost you some money. You might have to take some classes from one of our vendors that we have access to because we do have 2 official alphabets here, and they're used both in legal documents, and you'll have to understand that. If you cannot read any of that, you're going to have to hire a translator, and they don't work for free, of course. There are ways to learn Serbian language. You can learn it off of YouTube for free as well. There are a lot of channels out there that will teach you the Serbian language for free. But at the same time, there's nothing better than having someone to teach you the differences in the syllables and the pronunciation of certain words, how to use them, where to use them, and so on and so forth. And they don't necessarily have to be in person where you go every day. We have some people that are doing this online and doing it from the comfort of their own home and going online every day for an hour or two, getting some lessons in, and then moving on with their day. is very flexible to learn the Serbian language here in Serbia, but it is not an easy language, that is for sure. Another thing for obtaining Serbian citizenship by naturalization is you're going to have to give proof of financial stability. If you're going to be obtaining a temporary residency permit here, they're going to want to make sure that you can afford your rent, that you can afford your transportation here, that you're able to afford your insurance, your health insurance, should I say, you pay your taxes that you're going to have to pay here. Your natural living, conditions are going to have to be upheld by yourself. You're going to need internet. You're going to need to pay for various items in Serbia while you're living here. Now, if you're here on a work permit, that's a different story. But if you're coming in here and you don't have a job, you are going to have to show, do you have investments? Do you have some sort of savings? You're going to have to show some sort of document. You're just not going to come here and willy-nilly it and expect to remain in the country for a long period of time. And if they catch you, you're going to be before a judge sooner than later explaining yourself as to what's going on. And now the other thing you're going to have to look at when you're coming into Serbia and wanting to get, naturalized into Serbia is your criminal record. Do you have a long criminal history? Are they significant charges? How recent were they? If there was something minor from 15, 20 years ago, you don't have to sweat it. But if you have, drugs, you're going to drug charges for this, should I say, and they're in the last couple of years, hey, you're going to have to talk to a professional, hopefully us here at Relocation Serbia, and talk to us and see what we can help you out with. Are you eligible to pardon those charges and get them cleared off your record before we start your process here with naturalization and obtaining your temporary residency permit? These are things that we're going to have to look at. Do you have pending convictions as well, or pending charges? Those are other things that we're going to look at, because they do background checks here on everyone that is coming into Serbia. And, they're going to scrutinize each and every one of you individually. And if you have something significant on your record, that could hinder you from moving here and starting your life here in Serbia. Now, another one that many people do is that they'll have spouses that or significant others that are Serbian citizens. And so what they do is they come here into Serbia and obtain citizenship by marriage. Now, you don't have to throw a huge wedding. You can simply go down to City Hall, have a 15-20 minute wedding. It costs typically, here in Novi Sad, it's about 500 dinars to have a wedding in Serbia, or wedding here at City Hall in Serbia. If you don't speak the Serbian language, you're going to also have to hire a translator. That can range from anywhere from 4,000 to 7,000 dinars, depending on who they are, how fast do you need this done, where they're traveling in from, which is all reasonable prices. They're not too crazy. But one of the things you're going to have to understand also is, just because you're getting married doesn't guarantee that you're going to get citizenship right away. You're going to also have to get temporary residency and then stay here for a number of years and then apply for citizenship. But in order to obtain citizenship and not have to leave the country, you can just get married, get your temporary residency, and stay here. One thing to note, though, is if you're looking to get citizenship through marriage, make sure that it's a legitimate marriage. Don't find some random on the side of the street and be like, hey, listen, I'll give you 500 euros. Let's go get married because I want to obtain temporary residency, and then we'll see you later. No, the cops will can and will do checks on individuals that are obtaining citizenship through marriage, because there are individuals out there that will fake a marriage just to obtain citizenship. It has happened and it does happen. And so this is something that if you're looking to do, that you understand that this is done legitimately, because the last thing you want to do is spend all that money, go through the wedding, get married to someone, the cops come knocking at their door, you're not there, and now they're going to have a warrant out for your arrest, and then when they catch you, you're going to be before a judge, and then you're going to have to explain yourself and possibly be deported out of the country, because, or even in prison for that matter. And that's the last thing you want to do, is get in prison here in Serbia, especially if you don't speak the language. You're going to be SOL on a big note on that one. And the final way that you can obtain citizenship is by investment. So you can make economic contributions by purchasing real estate here. You can start a company here in Serbia. It can be an entrepreneurship. It can be an LLC. You can invest into government bonds. However, one of the challenges we find with individuals that are coming from Western cultures, specifically North America, is that in North America, many of the people live on debt. They have significant debt, so when they do sell all their belongings, zero out all their debt, they don't have much to invest here in Serbia, and so that is one of the least used avenues to obtain citizenship here in Serbia. It does happen, because there are some people that are able to manage their money very well. They have great careers, they've made more money than they can spend, and they're able to, put in significant contributions here in Serbia and obtain citizenship by investment. Now, what number is that you're looking to invest? That all depends on what route you're looking to take and what investment opportunities you're looking to make here in Serbia. Each one has a different tier, and that's something that, again, we can here at Relocation Serbia help you with, but we have to sit down and talk to you, have a consultation, get all the formalities together, and start moving on that process. Everyone's different. Everyone's living status is different. Everyone's economic situation is different, and so it's hard to paint with a paintbrush across everyone and say this is where you fit in, this is where you fit in, because everyone has a different story. If this is something that you're interested in and you're looking to pursue, feel free to reach out to us. If you have any other topics you'd like us to, or like me specifically, to touch on in these videos, please leave a comment down in the video in the comments section of this video, and I'd be happy to do a video on that topic and help you out obtaining your citizenship, moving to Serbia, and starting your new life here in Serbia. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.